ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. 815.
Hey, good news, everybody. Any dog can be a guide dog if you really don't care where you're going. I'm Greg. He's Tom. And this is the In Crowd 815 podcast. Tom has become invisible and he can't be seen. He's just sitting there making faces at me, ready to ridicule my big number of the week this week. Where'd he go? The mystery of Tom Warner, ladies and gentlemen, begins right now. And while we wait for Tom to make his grand appearance on this day of Small Business Saturday, I want to let you know with some thanks that I got some shout outs for this week. We had a great week this week promoting our In Crowd 815 podcast, a networking group, and the big event coming up this Wednesday. I want to give shout outs this week to our friends at B103. Chelsea Meyer had us on their morning show this last week on, let's see, that was on Tuesday morning. And that was a lot of fun going on her show with Kelly from Nick's Wish. And then 1440 WROK had us on their morning show on Wednesday. Thanks to Riley and Joe for that. And then our friends at WIFR, which I think I'm going to play later on here this morning. WIFR had us on their TV show, The Morning Blend, with Maggie Polsine yesterday morning, which was a lot of fun to do. So, yeah, we had a good time promoting In Crowd 815 and our big event coming up here on Wednesday. There he is. Good morning, Tom.
So sorry, buddy. So sorry.
I'm glad you are no longer invisible. That's good that you're making yourself be seen.
I had to find my Packer hat.
Oh,
and okay. I found it. I'm having the whole camera thing drives me nuts because the hat looks off center and it drives me nuts. I'm thinking about just going without a hat.
It's perfectly imperfect. You're all right. You're good.
Perfectly imperfect. There you go.
That's right. Let's do this. Big number of the week time. I'm challenging Tom now to a race to 10 every week, as we no longer have Joanne on the show every week. So it's a Tom and Greg race to 10, and Tom got the point last week. Our big number of the week this week is 362,000. Your answer is BMW or boom. BMW or boom. What do you think the big number is about this week? Put it in the chat, in the comments. Go ahead and just throw a guess out there for the fun of it. Maybe we can find a couple of viewers, listeners to race to 10 with us and see who gets there first. That'd be fun.
I hit a tree with my BMW and it made a really big boom.
Well,
there you go.
That includes both answers. I don't know if that's going to work.
I don't know, but I gave you I just sent you mine.
All right.
That tells you it's a total guess for me. By the way, in the history of mankind.
Wait, I didn't do that yet. I was waiting for you.
Oh, you didn't do it? I'm so sorry.
It's the 30th day of November, the year 2024, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of mankind.
And you made it. Congratulations.
Dude, I am so sorry. I saw 7:58 on there, and I thought I have at least 2 minutes. And I was going for 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
Well, we do have a guest that we want to bring on here in just a second. Big event coming up here in January that we would love to have you be a part of. And so we'll get to the details in just a little bit. But again, a big time thank you and shout out this week to Chelsea at B103, to Riley and Joe over at WROK, and to Maggie on WIFR for having us on their shows this week to promote our big annual Christmas party and fundraiser, which is coming up this Wednesday, December the 4th. Let's see, 4, 3, 2. Tomorrow's the 1st of December, isn't it?
I believe it is.
Holy cow. Tomorrow's the 1st of December. Yeah, so Wednesday, December 4th, our In Crowd 815 annual Christmas party and fundraiser event. This year, premier event sponsor, UW Health. Thank you, UW Health, for sponsoring this year's event in support of Nick's Wish. And we talked all about them on these shows these last week. And yeah, I'll probably play that a little bit later. For right now, though, let's see if we can't bring on our guest who's been a member of the Ski Bronx water ski show team now for probably half of her life. I don't think I'm exaggerating that either. We'll ask Malia to clarify that when we get her on the screen here. Good morning, Malia Baggs.
Good morning, Uncle Greg.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Well, awesome. Malia is of course my favorite niece. I have to say that she's on the show. Of my many nieces, and now she is a favorite aunt to 3 boys and a girl.
Yes, sir.
The Beggs clan has been growing.
We're growing.
That's right. So am I pretty accurate? About nearly half of your life, you've been a member of the Ski Bronx water ski show team.
More than half my life, actually. I joined on the team when I was 7 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm 21 now, so 14, going on 15 years.
2/3 of her life. I can math.
Right?
2/3 of her
Crazy.
life.
There you go.
Can you remember back to being 7 years old and joining the Ski Bronx for the first time? And what was that experience like for you as someone? Because the Ski Bronx water ski show team is completely volunteer, 100% volunteer. And there are members on the team from aged, 7 to nearly 70. So what was it like 14 years ago when you started skiing with them and doing stuff?
Well, when I first joined the team, I wasn't doing a lot. I was the ski rubber. I would run down on the beach, my little tiny self, and pick up skis from acts that landed. And then, of course, the more I skied, the more I got the chance to be in more acts. And it's just, as soon as I joined the Ski Bronx, they welcomed me in like I've been on the team for years. That's the amazing thing about being on a water ski team is we are always looking for more volunteers, and every single person that joins, we welcome them in with open arms and we teach them everything that they need to know. Even if they're not going to be in a lot their first year, the more they come back, the more they'll get to be in.
Anyone that wants to learn, you just want people to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is pretty amazing because, and obviously not everybody on the team skis. Everyone sees the skiers because that's the show, but it takes a lot more than skiers to put on a Ski Bronx show.
That's correct.
There's all kinds of different things. Tom will say emceeing a show would be something he could do pretty easily. He'd enjoy that.
I would. But I also want to be on the top tier of the 5 thing or whatever.
No feet too small.
Yeah.
I'm sure we got some guys being able to take you off the dock. We can figure it out.
There we go. There we go. So something that the Ski Bronx has done in the past that is very, very difficult is a 5-high pyramid, which is now there's a couple other teams that have been able to do it in actual competitions, but that takes something that I can't even fathom, Malia. It's crazy.
Yes, back in 2011, I was at the top of the 5-high pyramid when I was 11 years old. Yeah, I was about 11 years old. No. I don't know. I was 11 years old. It probably was in 2011, but I was 11 years old when
it was like 2000.
It would have been 14 then.
Yes, 2014.
14 or 15. Yeah.
Because if you're 21 now, 10 years ago would have been 14.
Because I was emceeing the show. I was the MC for the show in 2012, 13, and 14. And then I took a break for about nearly 10 years. But yeah, it was the year after. In 2014 was the year you guys actually did it, but I don't know that it actually got onto the competition, but it was accomplished that year. And then the year after, I think you guys actually put up a 5-high pyramid in competition.
Yes,
so Uncle Greg,
we were able to put our 5-high pyramid up in a tournament.
Wow, that's amazing. Uncle Greg, were you a little worried when she's up there 5-high, 14 years old?
Well, they strapped a GoPro on her. Is that video still somewhere on Facebook, Malia?
I think so, but I know who has the video, so I will contact him for it and I will get it sent to you because that video is really cool.
She had a GoPro strapped to her, Tom, and when they got her up all the way to the top, it just so happened there was like geese flying right nearby, lower than the top of the pyramid.
Yes.
Oh.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I never fully made it back in for being the topper of the 5-high. Something always happened. I always ended up in the water, but I can say it was a lot of fun practicing and doing that with my team.
You know, I've shared this before. The one and only time I've ever went water skiing, I got up the first time.
There you
First
go.
time. It
You
was
did
just
better than
dumb
me.
luck. I just happened to hit it right, and I'm water skiing for half a mile or whatever. And then we slowed down and turned around. I fell, and I never got back up, and I've never been out since. I don't really know anybody with a boat. Hint, hint.
Now you
Maybe
do.
one
I
of these
think
days.
come join. We'll get you back up there.
Well.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
I
All right.
told the story. I told the story of trying to ski this last summer and how I epically I failed. It was not good, and yeah. So I don't know if 100% if I'm going to try again next year. I probably will, because I'm pretty frustrated that I thought for sure I was overconfident. I thought for sure I was going to get up on the second or third try. I didn't think I'd get up on the first try. I wasn't that big headed, but second or third try, I'd get up, and it just did not happen for me. So I don't know.
Well, it could have been the skis, it could have been the length of the rope. There's a bunch of different factors that also factor into why you couldn't get up. But I will get you on a pair of skis next year, and I promise you, you will get up on. And now you got a little bit more
Wow, I
experience.
love the
so you know
confidence. This
how to
is
what not to
awesome.
do.
Malia has
Awesome.
taught so many people how to ski these last few years. She probably would have trouble guessing how many people she's actually taught how to ski over the last few years. It's in the
I couldn't
dozens.
tell you how many people I taught to ski, but I can tell you at least 10 to 15 of the members on the ski team I taught how to ski from Learn to Skis, and then they joined.
That's cool. That's cool. That's
But
fun.
maybe if it wasn't me like physically in the water with them, I've been instructing the Learn to Skis for the last 3 years now, at least helping instructing. So in a way, I'm still helping everybody learn how to ski.
Well, from 7-year-old Malia years ago to now 21-year-old Malia, this especially these last few years, a lot of the leadership stuff you have stepped up and taken over and helped the team. But there's a lot of areas of leadership needed in the ski Bronx. There's concessions, there's equipment, there's boats, there's the show itself and the the theme and the props and all this, the sound. There's a lot of areas that need help. So these last couple of years, the show itself, you've seen yourself get involved in a lot more. Can you tell us a little bit, maybe give us some hints, some teasers for what's coming up in 2025?
Ooh, in 2025. We're kicking off the start of the year with our Moonlight Bowl in January on the 4th at Park Lanes in Loves Park. We are super excited to have this annual event. We've been doing it for the last 3 years now. We are adding a new liquor wagon to the raffle giveaway. We've been doing raffle baskets since the beginning. So that's something new that we're adding this year. But we're also doing sponsored banners. So if there's any companies that would like to sponsor our Moonlight Bowl, it is $200 to sponsor a black and white banner. And we hang it up above the lane. So it's almost like you're sponsoring a lane. And everybody gets the chance to see it. And we'll definitely be posting it on our social media and thanking all of our sponsorships for our event. But we are super excited for everyone just to come and get together, raise some money, bowl, play some games, and just all spend some time together. January 4th. We're super excited.
And Park Lanes does a great job of putting these events on. They're a perfect place to have an event like this. They've got a great team over there at Park Lanes, and there's plenty of room to grow this thing. We could, I forget how many lanes they have, but it's a big place. If you haven't been in Park Lanes lately, you got to go back in there and see how great they. I know some bowling lanes. I won't name them. Some bowling lanes have let themselves go, but not Park Lanes. They've kept theirs up really, really well. And it's a great place to go and have a good time. And Saturday, January 4th in the evening, you'll want to come out and support the Ski Bronx. If you've never played Scotch doubles before or 9-pin no tap before, that's like my favorite way to bowl.
Oh yeah, me too.
Come on, that's the lazy way to bowl. You don't have to pick up that spare.
That's exactly right. When I was in college,
bowlers, we need the help.
Yeah,
right. That's right. If you're not a bowler who like bowls in leagues all the time, and this is a great way to compete with those people because you only need to knock down 9 pins to get the equivalent of a strike.
And then
And
it's also scratch doubles, so you're not even bowling every single time too, so it's not like you're getting tired of it. Got your partner
exactly,
there to help you out.
exactly. So get your tickets now. Check out the Ski Bronx Water Ski Show Team Facebook page for more information. In fact, I'm going to put I'll put the thing in the chat so people can go right to the link. But yeah, what we were talking about, like volunteers and stuff like that. What are some other things, Malia, that people can do with the Ski Bronx if they're maybe not necessarily skiing?
Well, we're always looking for help rolling ropes for shows. We're always having a ton of ropes just kind of around the park, waiting to be rolled after shows because obviously we're all skiing and putting the show on for our community. So that's an avenue some people can come and volunteer at. We have concession stands that we always could use volunteers for. Um, we do have work days down at the park where we could also accept volunteers, which is a super good way that if you have volunteer hours that you need to get, like as a student, you can come and any one of us can sign off on those hours for you. We're always looking for more hands on deck when we're down at the park, cleaning the clubhouse or cleaning the boathouse. There's tons of stuff that can be cleaned. Um, let's see other volunteer avenues. We don't have any tournaments this year, but when we do host tournaments in 2026, we're always looking for more volunteers to help out with that because we have a beer tent, we have a food area, we have a different concessions area. So there's a ton of different jobs just kind of spread out throughout the day that we always can just use some more volunteers for sure. um, Let's see, more volunteers for our shows.
There's something that's pretty awesome too, and I don't know if this video shows it, but the improvements made at Shorewood Park in the last year are pretty epic.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. We should get that posted up on our social media. Thank you. So we can have people find that easier. Hey, look, it's me.
No, the dock has been redone. The whole stage area is no longer that small stage anymore. It's huge. It covers the whole beach. It's really amazing what they've done to the show course, the show area this last year. Obviously, the Ski Bronx were really, really excited about showing it off this summer, and then of course we got too much rain, so we had so many shows that were flooded out because of the water being too high.
Yes.
So in 2025, regular season of shows coming your way, and then 2026, hopefully the competitions will be back again, and we'll be able to show off this awesome ski park. It was really even more than I thought it was going to be, Malia. It's something special.
It's just an amazing way for families to get involved in a sport together. There's not many different avenues for parents and kids to come together in the summer, and this is just a great opportunity for families to come down to the park every day and just be a part of something and grow in something together. I've been skiing with my dad. My sister lives somewhere else now, but when she comes back for the summer, she jumps in and she skis. It's just like riding a bike for people that have been doing it for a pretty long time.
Sure, it is.
For some people.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine my life without ski broncs and without doing
that
it
is
with my dad.
that is so awesome. So I got to ask, do you have what kind of a background do you have? Did you like do gymnastics when you were really, really young, or anything like that? Because you got to get over a fear of heights. You got to get over a fear of water. I mean, you got to get over all these different fears to be able to do something like that. Or you don't have to get over them if you never had them. And if you start at a young enough age, then they never develop. So, what is your background as far as that?
I did do gymnastics. I quit gymnastics to ski for the ski broncs. Best decision I ever made. Love ski broncs. Um, I've never had a fear of water. I've loved water ever since I was little. I have a pool in my backyard. I was swimming. I guess when I was 3, I was stripping my floaties off. I said no more floaties. So
Malia has
I had a fear of water.
has the honor of being the first one in the pool every year, no matter how cold it is. If the pool, as
Yes.
soon as it's open, she jumps in.
Yep, I've got to be the first one in the water because now it's just an annual thing, and you can't break tradition. I'm gonna be doing it till I'm in my 30s.
Well, There's a lot of different things, and Malia, you make a really good point. This is one of those things that you can do as a family. How many things are there where you drop the kids off and you go do something else? Like you mentioned, like gymnastics. If your kid's in gymnastics, good, that's awesome, that's great. I hope they're doing well and having fun. But as a parent, unless you're one of the coaches, you're probably dropping them off and going doing something else and waiting for the next competition or the next performance or whatever. This is something the whole family can get involved in because there's a lot of different things of all different skill levels to take part in.
Definitely.
Well, January 4th again is the big event, and we've got the link in our chat if you want to take part in this Moonlight Bowl fundraiser. It's a Saturday night, the first Saturday of 2025.
That's right. Kicking the year off strong.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We did my wife and I did the one that you guys just did here a couple months ago, and we had a good time there for that one. And so already looking forward to doing this again in January. Is there anything else we didn't ask you about Ski Bronx wise that you wanted to make sure we touch on today before we move on to some trivia?
No, I don't think so. I appreciate all the questions.
I think we covered it pretty
Love
well.
being here with you guys today.
I think we covered it pretty well. So check out skibronx.com and check out if you want to volunteer, become a member. This is a good point too, Lamia. Becoming a member of the Loves Park Ski Bronx requires a significant commitment. But the rewards are amazing. Some of the benefits include participation for your entire family, access to open ski sessions where experienced members can help you learn new skills, opportunity to forge new friendships, the use of club equipment at the ski site. That includes the boats and ropes and skis and flotation vests, all that stuff. It's all provided for you. It is a big commitment. It's good to point out the fact that you are pretty much saying, hey, I'm dedicating my summer, not just Wednesday nights and Friday nights for shows, but for a couple of rehearsals, couple of practices. It's not just the shows. There's a lot of practice that's involved in this too. So
it is 100% correct.
Yeah. Don't want to gloss that over, but it's the rewards are definitely worth it. So check out the Ski Bronx Tech. The link is in the chat. All right. Well, it's time for some Tom trivia.
All right.
Ready for
what about our other guest? Don't we have another guest coming?
We do not have another guest this week.
Okay.
All about Malia this week in the Ski Bronx.
All right. Yeah. You guys work together as a team. All right. So nobody loses here. All right. We start with a sports question. Then we go with a president's question, and then a states, as in United States question. Then a fast food question, state capital, and just a general trivia question. All right. And then I also have a bonus question in case we need a tiebreaker. All right. Question number 1. Are you ready?
Here we go.
All right. Malia, do you have Google up on your computer in front of you or what? No.
I do not.
You cannot Google. That's rule number 1. You cannot Google.
No cheating.
All right. No cheating. All right. Well, it's not cheating if I don't tell you. So I told you. Now it would be cheating. All right. This is a sports question, but it is a 50-50. So you got, depends on what kind of a guesser you are. All right. The Detroit Lions have played 69 times on Thanksgiving Day. Who did they play the very first time they played on Turkey Day in 1934? Was it the Green Bay Packers or the Chicago Bears?
They lost to the Chicago Bears, Tom.
Did they?
They lost to the Chicago Bears. I believe the score was like 16-13 or something like that. Yeah.
You are correct. I didn't know about the final score, but you are correct.
It was
all right. Team Saunders and Beggs gets 1 point.
I only know this, Tom, because I was actually paying attention to that part of the game yesterday, and because they did a little story piece on the fact that the owner of the Lions bought a team. What were they called?
The
The
Portsmouth Spartans.
The Portsmouth Spartans moved them to Detroit.
Yep.
And was trying to figure a way to get more people to these games. So he took a chance on having a Thanksgiving Day game, and they actually had to. They only got like 24,000 people into the stands and had to turn away like 12,000 people. They didn't have enough room for all the people that wanted to come and watch the game on a Thanksgiving Day.
Wow.
Huge success. A pretty amazing story.
And it's been a
Thanksgiving Day
success
football.
ever since. I always felt bad for Detroit because they would always lose. They were like the lovable losers.
Yeah.
You know, and then of course now they're starting to win, but they did lose last year. So, all right. Which president is responsible for making Thanksgiving a national holiday? Was it George Washington or Abraham Lincoln?
Got a guess, Malia?
Yeah, I got to guess. But that's all it is.
Okay.
That's all right. That's what trivia is half the time. Once again, which president is responsible for making Thanksgiving a national holiday? Was it George Washington or Abraham Lincoln? Malia, go ahead.
I put George Washington.
And what do you say, Gregors?
I'm curious if George Washington made any national holidays. I don't think that he did. Maybe one, but it wasn't Thanksgiving. It was Lincoln.
Lincoln is correct.
It was
Oh,
Lincoln.
man.
That's okay. You're 2-0 as a team. That's
All
good.
right.
All right. Which state produces the most turkeys? Is it Iowa or Minnesota?
Iowa or Minnesota?
What do you think, Greg?
Malia, what do you say? Iowa or Minnesota?
I'm gonna go with Iowa. I don't know why. I know it's smaller, but
It's
I don't know.
yeah. I think so. I think it's going to be Iowa too. I don't know. I don't know what else. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Iowa.
You should have stayed with Minnesota.
Oh, man.
Minnesota.
All right.
All right, here we go. Now we get to the tougher ones because there are no 50-50s. So this is essentially round 2. Here we go. Fast food. Which fast food restaurant would you find something called ocean water?
Ocean water at a fast food restaurant?
Yep. It's a soft drink. They call it ocean water. Once again, which fast food restaurant would you find ocean water?
I have never heard of this, Malia.
Is it
Really good. It's like a blue raspberry.
Is it Arby's?
It is not. I'm going to give you one more guess. That's your mulligan right there.
Ocean water. That sounds like maybe it's a Taco Bell thing.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
But there's a blue hedgehog that would be a good hint.
Sonic.
Sonic. It's Sonic. Yep.
Gave
We
it
don't have-
away.
We
Yeah.
don't have Sonic anymore around here. They're all gone.
I know. Sonic is dead and gone.
They gave the old college try here in the state line area and it didn't go well.
Yeah, they breathed their last breath.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. What is the state capital of Kansas? Once again, what is the state capital of Kansas?
I mean, there's only one city in Kansas, right? Topeka.
Well, there's a few. There's Wichita. There's Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay, I was gonna say. That's my guess. Kansas City.
And Gregors, your guess is?
Well, Kansas City's mostly in Missouri, oddly enough. So
It's on the border.
On the border.
Both. There's Kansas City in St. Louis and in Missouri and Kansas
it's one of the
City.
weirdest cities in the United States because it's in
It is.
two state. But yeah, I don't think it's Wichita. I think it's Topeka.
It is Topeka.
Oh,
All right.
man.
It is Topeka. That's
All
all right.
right.
You guys are 3-1. I had to give you on the ocean water one. I gave you too many hints. I'm sorry.
Doesn't
All
count.
right. Question number 5. Where would you find, or is this question number 6?
Number 6.
This is number 6. See, I can't count. Where would you find the Sea of Tranquility?
Sea of Tranquility. It's got to be a Middle Eastern thing, right? Isn't that
Is
somewhere?
it like around the Mediterranean?
Sea of Tranquility, somewhere somewhere by. Greece or India, or is it in Israel? Is it?
It's a little further away than that.
Oh! It's in outer space.
Is it?
I don't know. Isn't it in outer space?
Specifically, where is it?
On the moon.
On the moon. Yes.
Nice job.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is on the moon.
There we
Yes.
go.
All right. Now.
Right next to where we didn't land a spaceship.
Well, yeah, exactly. Hello from Tulsa. Hey, Dan. How are you?
Morning, Dan.
All right. And finally, this is it. This is your tiebreaker.
I didn't hear her, but apparently my wife was screaming downstairs. The moon.
The moon. Hi, Christy. I miss donuts and brownies and cookies and all that. Just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying because she used to always bring them.
Dita bonds.
The Dita bonds.
Oh, whatever. Anything with chocolate and sugar that Christy makes, it's awesome. I miss that at the radio station. So my address is. Anyway. All right, here we go. Final question. I know Christy's going to know this. She being a teacher and all. You have to spell the word tryptophan.
Oh my!
Spell the word tryptophan.
I wish I could put something on the screen that just spelled it out.
Well, you could put it in the host comment.
Tryptophan.
Malia, any guesses?
Super simple guess. Just sounded it out. Should I type it in the chat or should I?
You could just say it.
I think I got it wrong. I put mine in the chat.
I put TRIPTAPHAN.
Okay, it is actually spelled TRYPTOPHAN. Gregor's got it.
There you go.
All right.
Greg.
You know what?
Nice.
5-1. I don't know. Is it? No, that's actually 6-1, isn't it?
That's pretty good.
You 6-1. That is. We usually do about 7 because I do 6 questions and kind of a tiebreak, a bonus question. That so far is the record. I don't know if we've had a clean sweep yet. So
I was looking for better pictures of the new stage and dock. This is probably the best one I could find real quick on the Ski Bronx Facebook page. I mean, you can see how the cement now goes all the way down the beach. It's all the way down. So
yeah,
the stage area is so much bigger now, and it's such a beautiful place. Of course, most of the shows were canceled last summer, and then they put in this great new dock, which in years past the dock was a floating dock, correct?
Correct.
Now this one isn't. This one's right down into the riverbed.
Yes. We actually had to take it out because we were afraid that the ice caps from our winters were going to get too heavy and pull it right out of the ground and destroy our dock. So it's actually sitting back out on the ground now.
Oh, okay. So
man, she's a beaut.
It's impressive. It really is impressive. And you can see how it's adjustable down here a little bit. So before putting it in, they can decide just how high off the water they want it. Of course, once it's in, it's in. You're not adjusting it anymore.
No, that's not true. People do go under the dock and they adjust it in the water because if the river gets too high or too low, you will have to adjust it after to keep it within. We call it like specs for our tournaments. It has to be, I think. I don't want to butcher it. And now if Kyle was here, he'd be able to get it spot on. He knows everything about water. Put it between, I think it's 12 and 18 inches between the top of the dock and the water.
Okay.
So it has to stay within those specs.
Okay. Well, it's a beautiful site. And you're going to want to come out and check out all things Ski Bronx in 2025. Starting with January 4th, the big, fun Moonlight Bowling event. And come on and join us. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yes.
All right, Malia. Well, I appreciate you getting up early on a Saturday morning and being here with us. And we'll look forward to seeing you January 4th. If I see you before then, maybe we'll say hi.
Well, hopefully you do. Christmas party coming up on yours.
That's right.
December 4th, right?
You got to come out.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, You were going to say something important, Tom.
Well, I was going to say, if it's a Christmas party, you got to bring him a gift. His favorite candy bar is Kit Kat. You know,
Thank you.
yes. Favorite
All over
candy
that.
bar.
All right, Malia. Well, have yourself a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on Wednesday at the in-crowd party.
You too, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Bye.
There goes Malia with the Ski Bronx Water Ski Show team. And yeah, check out skibronx.com for all things Ski Bronx. And their web page on their Facebook page does have all the information about the upcoming January 4th event at Park Lanes. Awesome. All right, before we get into Packer talk today, Tom.
Well, let me just say this, if you don't mind. Your niece is very, very impressive. This is a girl who starts water skiing at 7 years old. Oh my God. At 7 years old, I was playing with my trucks in the dirt and probably eating dirt. That's really impressive. And I'm going to put this out there. If and when the day comes when she can't do the water skiing anymore, maybe she's 30, has a couple of kids, and it's just too much. PR.
Public relations all over it. You got
public relations. Absolutely. I am so impressed with her. I want to go join, and I want to be on the top pyramid thing. No, I'm very impressed. So
between her dad skiing and her mom helping out with the team, and then her sister's a couple years older. She probably, there's a little competition going on there between her and her sister to see who could be the better skier. And they both were excellent swivel skiers. They did some, great competitions over the years in the swivel skiing. So,
pretty good stuff. But I was going to say that while she's on, but I didn't want to make her blush. So she's probably still watching. Hey. But I'm very, very impressed, and that's so awesome. All right, you were going to say, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, if you don't mind, I want to see if this will play okay on our platform here. We were, like I mentioned earlier, we were on the WIFR Morning Blend this week and yesterday morning, and I wanted to see if this translated well to being played on our screen. So let's see if this works. And let's see what it looks like. Oh, we got to watch a commercial first, apparently.
Greg Saunders this morning from In Crowd 815. Thank you so much for being here on this Black Friday.
Glad to be here.
The post-holidays, it can be kind of rough on some folks. We appreciate you coming in and taking the time.
Ready to chat.
Yes, and you guys have so much coming up with In Crowd 815, specifically your annual Christmas event, but there's even more than that.
Yeah, for those who don't know what In Crowd 815 is, basically we're Rockford's free networking group. You don't have to join anything. You don't have to pay anything. All we say is when you come to our events, you got to bring two things: a business card and a smile. That's all you need. We found about 15 years ago, some great ladies, Yolanda and Rebecca, found that there was some good networking groups in town, but you had to pay to be involved in them. And they were usually limited to one person per industry. So if there was already a realtor in the group, I was out. I couldn't participate. So they wanted to start a group that was not limited to that stuff. And for 15 years now, we've been doing the In Crowd, and about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was asked to take over it, and I said no. I really didn't.
Well, now we know.
I really was like, no. John Berlin was running it at the time, and I said no, thanks, John. And then I said maybe, and apparently that meant yes.
Maybe is always a yes.
So a year ago, I started running the In Crowd 815, and I told them I'm rebranding it because it was just called In Crowd, and there were other In Crowds around the country, and I was like, we need to make sure we're 815 specific.
So people know exactly what In Crowd they're joining.
Exactly. So In Crowd 815, I changed the name of my podcast, which used to be the Saturday Morning State Line Show. It's now In Crowd 815 Podcast. And we focus on Rockford area not-for-profits and the businesses that support them. So I kind of blended the two together to make what we're doing with In Crowd 815. And every year for the last 13 years, we have been doing an annual Christmas party the first Wednesday of December. And we combine that and make it into a fundraiser for a local not-for-profit. The last, I think, 5 or 6 years, the beneficiary of that was Mosaic in Rockford, which we love Mosaic. Linda Wenmacher and her team over there are excellent people. We love supporting them. This year we said, Linda, we're going to shift fundraising, not-for-profits. We need to start branching out. She's like, I totally understand.
Yeah.
We want to support them too.
I get it. It makes sense to kind of do different organizations every couple of years, so
Yeah.
the wealth is kind of spread. And this year is for Nick's Wish,
Yes.
which is fantastic. What was the process like to pick them?
Well, we've been involved with Nick's Wish for a few years now, and this year really it was a big spark for Nick's Wish in these last 12 to 18 months. CNN did a special on them. I think they called it the Heroes thing. They did a big 8-minute feature on Nick's Wish, and they're based right here in the 815.
Yeah.
And when Kelly's son Nick was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he was granted a Make-A-Wish. He was under the age of 18, so he was granted a Make-A-Wish wish, which he was very thankful for. But his buddy in the treatment center was already 19 and didn't qualify. So his dying wish to his mom was, "Mom, make sure Nate gets his wish." And she was like, "I'm going to make sure Nate gets his wish." From that, she actually granted 3 wishes, and the Nick's Wish Foundation was born.
And it's amazing how much they've grown and how big they've gotten and how many wishes they've been able to
Over
grant. It's just
360
amazing.
now,
Yeah.
in 40 states.
It's like the most amazing thing to come out of this area, I feel like, because it's just reaching so many corners of the country.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to help them with their mission just with this fundraiser.
We're hoping to raise enough funds on December 4th at Cliffbreakers to fund a wish or 2. They're expensive now. They used to be able to fund a wish with $3,000 to $4,000. Now it's taking more like $8,000 to $10,000.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take the family to Disney, that's about what you're talking, if not more than that these days.
A lot of people are requesting going to Hawaii. So
that's a good one. That's a good wish.
That's a great wish too. And this one gal just recently wanted to just go and load up an RV, leave Northern Illinois to go to where most of her family's from in Montana and spend a week in Montana RVing, and they were able to make that happen.
That's amazing. And you guys are going to do a bunch of fun stuff at the event. How can people get involved? How can they get down there? Any ticketing, that info that they need to know?
This is a rare event for InCrowd that it is ticketed. We normally don't ticket our events. With this one, it's only $10 to be a part of. Go to InCrowd815.com or look for InCrowd815 on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, and you'll find the link to our event. And we're using the Classy platform to sell tickets so it only costs like 61 cents processing fees.
That's amazing.
It's cheap. So your total might be $10.61 if you buy one ticket. Please buy more than one.
Yeah, you want to bring people out. There's the QR code. If you do want to scan it, you can get registered right there. And there's lots of opportunities to beyond this event to get involved with InCrowd 815. This is kind of just the end of the year push, but going forward, you guys have so many things coming up and you're planning for big things for the group too.
A lot of stuff coming up in 2025. We are looking to do what's becoming quickly famous, our mass karaoke trivia contest, which we did last month.
Hey, I saw the pictures. It looked like a lot of fun. And some of the videos that came out of it too, people were having a good time.
We had a lot of friends that participated in that.
Yes, we do.
And they did great. And I know now that they know what's happening with that.
Yes.
We're going to plan even more for it next time. And I think we're going to do it in April.
So maybe save that little nugget in the back of your head if you're thinking springtime around April and you want to sing some karaoke. I think I know someone who might be able to help you with that.
Someone won $1,000 through the local not-for-profit Rocket Rescue Mission with the grand prize winner this last time.
That's so cool. Now, what's kind of like your guys' idea when you're doing these little fundraisers throughout the year? Is it really just keep that network support growing as a community and also want to support the people that are doing the work to really help the community?
My passion is collaboration. I was in broadcasting for 20 years in radio, and the most joy that I got being on the radio and being on the air was combining our local area not-for-profits, the kind of giving people that we have in the 815 with businesses that shared their passion and their support, and to see them come together and do events and fundraisers and different things at their businesses, at their not-for-profit locations together. That collaboration brings me more joy than doing anything else. It's just, there's advertising and then there's third-party marketing. And that's kind of what this is. It's third-party marketing. If you want to be frank about what it is.
Yeah, I was like, we'll be technical, I guess.
It's third-party marketing. And I got my start in third-party marketing out of college years and years ago. And I didn't realize then just the power of what it could be. So to see these businesses share, for example, my friend Paul Iverson at Iverson Painting, he loves Rock House Kids. He put together a team to be at that mass karaoke trivia contest, and they won some money for Rock House Kids.
That's amazing.
It was great. They had a fun time. They had a good bonding experience. And guess what? Rock House Kids got a check.
Everybody's winning in this experience, which is fantastic. And if you also want to be a part of it, make sure you're going to InCrowd 815's annual Christmas celebration fundraiser. Nick Swiss is going to be the beneficiary. It starts at 5:30 at the Cliffbreakers Event Center. If you want to maybe be a sponsor, you could email Greg at gregsaunders70@gmail.com for all those details. Otherwise, you can scan the QR code that we had earlier or go to the website, incrowd815.com, to get all the information you need and to get those tickets ahead of time. Can people get tickets at the door, or do they have to purchase ahead of time?
We should be okay with the door unless we sell out. I have to check the fire code for the Cliffbreakers is big, by the way.
Either way, just plan on getting it ahead of time. Scan the QR code, get those tickets now so you for sure have them, and that way you have time to go and maybe bring a friend or two, as all the funds are going towards a great cause. Thanks for being here, Greg. We appreciate the time. We'll be right back after the break.
That went pretty well.
Greg Saunders, star of radio, podcast, and now TV.
That was fun. Maggie did such a great job.
That was a very good interview. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very thankful to have friends in media still. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still involved.
You know, it's one of those things where once in media, always in media. Because you don't forget what you've learned. You just get right back on. Kind of like what Malia said. It's like riding a bike, doing the whole ski thing.
Now, I think I've got the link to... Okay, yeah, I do. I've got the link to the video that we referenced earlier when Malia was at the top of the 5-high pyramid.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Christy. All right, let's see if this works. If there is sound, we'll unmute the sound. I don't think anybody swears on this.
Well, let's hope not.
So she's on someone's shoulders to start, right? She's on someone's shoulders on the main level, and now she's got to go up 4 levels high. Here she goes. Oh, that ain't what happened. That's a lot shorter video than I thought it was going to be.
Well, we get the picture, but that's still amazing.
I wonder if the other video is got it all the way to the end. Well, this has something else here, so this might be a good one to see too. This is an epic thing. This is something that's really, really hard to do. So this was their 2018 attempt to go 5-high. I don't think they had a GoPro on the top of this one. Look at all that technical work. Getting all those girls up another level high, another level high.
I don't understand how that can be done with the wind.
I know.
You have to have incredible balance.
The balance is intense. It's really something else. And everyone's got to make sure everyone else above them is secure. Every foot on every shoulder.
It's just like camping. It's intense.
And there they are, 5 levels high.
Someone wants your autograph, Greg.
That's amazing. So that's your amazing ski broncs going 5 levels high. That's pretty cool stuff, isn't it?
Awesome.
That's pretty awesome stuff. All right. Well, January 4th is the next big thing with the ski broncs, and that's at Park Lane. So hopefully you can come out and meet some of the team, do some bowling, raise some funds, maybe win a wagon full of liquor.
Mhm.
They have they did this last time too. There was just a wagon just full of bottle. I don't remember how many bottles were in there, but you buy raffle tickets for all the different things. They usually have a bunch of different raffle items and stuff to do as well. Not silent auction, but a raffle. I think they refer that as the Chinese raffle. I forget what they call
Um, yeah.
it. I think that's what they refer to it as.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that takes care of all that stuff. Is there anything else I want to put on the screen today as far as tickets? I think I wanted to put this website up really quick because this is kind of our last shot, Tom, to push the Christmas party event. And we already have our premier sponsor, so that's already sold, but tickets are $10. And I'll put this link in the chat so you can hopefully just click on it real quick, and go right to this page. Like I said, it's a classy.org page. You don't want to type that whole thing in. It's all in the chat there. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, our Facebook In Crowd 815 podcast page, it should be there. But yeah, we're really looking forward to being together this Wednesday at Cliffbreakers. And again, if you haven't seen that since it's been renovated, they just opened up a cafe restaurant too over near the hotel side of Cliffbreakers. And I think they're open. Is it Tuesday through Sunday? But they are serving dinner at this smaller cafe restaurant that's part of Cliffbreakers and the Riverview Inn and Suites. So
Nice. Yeah, I've been kind of keeping up on it because I live right near there, just down Halstead, down Church. And I've been watching the progress, and I'm seeing a whole lot more cars there. I think they're really ready to take off.
All right, one more page to share, I guess, before we move on, and that would be there is a silent auction similar to what they did for the Knicks home run event. There is a silent auction, and I will copy this page and put it in the chat here real quick too. Auction will be closing Wednesday night at 7:45. And of course, the goal of the auction is to raise $3,000 to help grant wishes to young adults battling cancer. And you can just make a donation. They have tickets to the Bears-Lions game, which is, I forget what the date is on the Bears-Lions game, Tom.
Oh, it's about 3 weeks from now. It's going to be probably December 22nd or 3rd. Or something.
Yeah, I think it's the weekend before Christmas.
I believe so.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff.
Is the Bears-Lions next game? Sorry about that. I just did it the easy way. It is December 22nd at noon.
All right.
And it's Lions at Bears. So December 22nd.
I don't see them flexing that game to the primetime game.
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing. If
doubt
the Bears with their new coach can make a splash in the next few weeks, and if the Bears have a chance to play spoiler, because let's say Detroit loses, Green Bay keeps winning, that could be for first place. Not that the Bears would be going for first, but it could be between Green Bay and Detroit for first place. It might make it an exciting game.
I think, I got a feeling that there will be other races, other divisional races more important and more tight that they'll probably the evening game. Yeah. But anyway, there's the holiday online auction that we're going to be ending. It'll come to an end at 7:45 p.m. during our party on Wednesday night, December 4th at Cliffbreakers. So if you're the winning bidder on any of those items that you just saw and you're at the event, you can pay for it and take it right there, and you'll have it in your hands right there at the end of the event. So come on out for that. All right. That's I think that's pretty much all the shout outs for this week. It
was a good show.
It was a good show. I know we want to talk some Packers
Let's do the big number first, and then
Let's
talk
do the big number
Packers.
first and let people go that don't want to stick around for Packer talk. That's a good that's a good idea. Here we go. Our current race to 10 started with Tom getting the first point last week. May he get another point this week? Let's find out. 362,000 is our big number of the week this week. And the answer is BMW
Or boom.
boom. And you sent me your guess, which I have to refresh my memory because I don't recall.
I said boom.
There it is. You said boom. Okay. Maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. I didn't really notice it until I saw this article. Nobody's buying Jaguars anymore. The Jaguars, not the football team, the car.
Yeah.
And which is kind of surprising because Jaguar became kind of popular with James Bond, right? There wasn't one of the James Bond cars, a Jaguar.
Well, I thought it was an Aston Martin.
And then, of course, the famous one is the Aston Martin. Yeah.
Okay, so he probably had both. Yeah.
The company, the Jaguar company, sold fewer than 67,000 vehicles last year globally, while BMW, they sold over 362,000 in the United States alone. So Greg gets a point this week. It's BMW is the answer. So yeah, is the Jaguar car? It sounds like they might be reinventing their logo and removing the pouncing cat, that Jaguar cat, which I think is a big mistake.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree. First of all, without getting too political, the whole woke thing, this latest iteration of their commercials was so weird. There were no cars, no nothing, just a bunch of weird, odd people, faces, whatever. That's not going to sell cars. All that's going to do is make people go, I'm sorry, what was that?
Why?
You want to go from 67,000 to 37,000. That's a good start right there. But if you want to go, in fact, it's kind of funny. I saw a commercial, and I believe it was BMW. They made a commercial just talking about cars, showing what the car can do and all of that. That was in direct response to the latest Jaguar ad. And I thought that was kind of funny. Look, woke is dying. I'm sorry, it is.
There was some great commercials on TV this last week. This weekend, this last week, there were some great commercials that were like really pulling at the heartstrings. It was really something awesome. The other story, the boom story, it's time to start making your New Year's plans now. If it's going to be hard to top what Macon-Bibb County in Georgia is going to be doing on New Year's Eve. They're going to be imploding a 16-story hotel at midnight on New Year's Eve. The city spent $4.5 million to buy the hotel. It was a federal bankruptcy proceeding, and they're spending another like $2.5 million to have it blown up. I think this is the picture of the building right here. So this 16-story building, the former Ramada Plaza Hotel, is slated for implosion as a part of New Year's Eve festivities on December 31st, 2024 in Macon, Georgia. And I mean, just by this picture alone, look how much this building stands out.
Dang.
That's going to be something. Ringing in 2025.
And why are they doing it? Did you say, or did I miss it, or what? It's just old and decrepit, or what? Probably cost too much to fix.
The New York banking department seized the hotel in 1991, saying it was one asset that was part of a fraud and money laundering scheme linked to the Bank of Credit and Commerce International.
Okay. But you can get past all that. If it's a viable building, find a buyer that can buy it and rebrand it. I don't know. It seems like a shame to blow up a building.
Uh-huh.
Don't get me wrong. It sounds like fun. I would love to be able to, be the one that pushes the, what do you call that? The Wile E. Coyote thing.
Right. It's an eyesore to the whole community. We would love to have something else there. So yeah, they're gonna take that thing down New Year's Eve, and how fun is that gonna be?
There you go.
So there's your boom story. All right. Remember, folks, you change the world when you help one person. So be a blessing to someone this week. Tom and I will try to do the same. We'll meet you back here for another In Crowd 815 podcast. And after this little video, we're going to talk some Packers football. So have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend, everybody. Since we last talked about the Green Bay Packers, they've gone on to destroy two teams, Tom. They wrecked two good teams, or at least previously good teams.
Yes, they did.
What is your general consensus of what the Packers just did over the last 7 days?
All right, general consensus is they're back. You look at last year when they went 3-6, and then they won 6 out of 8 games to finish the season. The 2 games they lost were to the New York Giants. Tommy DeVito brought him back for the game-winning touchdown, and then they allowed Baker Mayfield, who I think is a dynamic quarterback. I love Baker Mayfield.
He's good
quarterback on my fantasy team. He comes into Lambeau Field, and only the second quarterback ever to throw a perfect game in Lambeau Field. A 158.3 quarterback rating. Aaron Rodgers was the other one. Now you got Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming in, and they beat us. And all of a sudden now, this team that had been on a roll, you beat Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. You beat Kansas City the week after. And now you lose 2 games. It's like, okay, now we're done. Now it's over. And then they won the last 3, made the playoffs, destroyed Dallas, should have beat San Francisco, laid the groundwork for this year. So this year, at the 9-game mark, they were 6-3 instead of 3-6. Jordan Love was injured. We ended up playing 2.5 games with Malik Willis, who is an absolute stud.
He's so good.
I think if Jordan Love had to go out for another game or 2, I think Malik Willis would do just fine. So that leads us to present day. They just took care of business with a team that, albeit was injured, I don't care about injuries because we had injuries. We still don't have a full team. Edgerrin Cooper is not in there. Jair Alexander is not in there. Evan Williams was gone for 3 games. Javon Bullard was gone for a short while. Who else? We've had our center, Josh Myers, was out for a little while. Anyway, the list goes on. Everybody has injuries. So I'm not buying the whole injury thing. Green Bay took it to San Francisco. They still had Deebo Samuel. They still had Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey had 44 yards rushing. So much for the greatest running back in the game.
And Kittle played too.
Kittle played. Kittle had a good game. He got me 17 fantasy points, so that was good. And they only scored.
How dare
10
you, Tom?
points.
How dare you?
I had no choice. Because I don't have Tucker Kraft, and I would have had to have played someone else. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go with. I couldn't get rid of Kittle, and I didn't have another tight end, is what I'm saying. I couldn't put him on the bench and put someone else in because I would have had to have picked somebody up off of waivers and put him in. I felt a little bad. It was a little seedy doing that. I admit. I felt dirty. But hey, I gladly accepted the 17, 18 points, whatever it was.
Especially when the final score was 38-10. It's not like the game was in question.
Exactly. So you're asking me what I think of it? Well, here's what I think. They are now at the point where they were last year with their record being so much better than it was last year. Because if you remember, they were 3-6, then they were 5-6. Then I don't think they ever made. Yeah, they made 500. They were 500, and then they went to 6-8, and then they won the last 3 and became 9-8. Made the playoffs. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are 9-3. 9-3. 9-3, is that right?
9-3.
They're 9-3. We are 9-3. We've got Detroit, which is a winnable game. I really do believe. In fact, I'm predicting a Packer win. We got Detroit. Then we've got, I want to say Seattle, then New Orleans, then
At
Minnesota.
Seattle.
Yeah, and then Chicago. I'm not worried about Seattle. We're a better team than Seattle. I'm not worried about New Orleans. We're obviously a better team than New Orleans. I'm not worried about Minnesota. I am not because we should have beat them the first time around, but it just wasn't in the cards. They got off to a 28-0 start, but we then outscored them 29-3, and we also lost. That game and the Philadelphia game by 2 missed field goals. We lost by 2 points. We had 2 missed field goals in both of those games. I don't know. We win those if we make those field goals? Obviously, the score would say yes, but that doesn't mean anything because the dynamic changes when, say, they go ahead. Now Philly has to play a different game. They don't just go down with the intention of just kneeling on the ball. Now they're going to go down and they might score a touchdown and win by 5. Who knows?
Well, I'm looking at the Lions schedule right now just to kind of gauge where they're going to be. If Packers beat the Lions next Thursday night, which is it's another Thursday night game for the Packers, which is fine. That's exciting. The Lions host the Bills as their game after that, which that should be a tough game for the Lions.
Yep.
Then they go to Chicago and they'll destroy what's left of the Bears.
Maybe. I mean, hey, you don't have Matt Eberflus there to screw things up now.
It's always close. That could be a trap game for the Lions. Then they got to go all the way to San Francisco, and that could be a tough game too. So if the Lions lose to the Packers and lose 2 of their remaining 4 games, that leaves the door open for the Packers to squeak in there and maybe, just maybe, win the North.
Well, not only win the North, they would probably be the number 1 seed overall in the conference.
It's in the realm of possibility.
Oh, it is absolutely in the realm of possibility. I do see Detroit losing 2 to 3 more games. I do. I think the San Francisco game is a game they're not going to win. I think the Buffalo game is a game they're not going to win. And I think the Packers are going to beat them this week. That gives them 4 losses. And if the Packers run the table, who knows? We're really speculating here. It could go completely the opposite way too. I'm not too worried about that. But here's the point I was going to make. With Green Bay right now being 9-3, and seemingly back on the right track. Jordan Love is healthy. Tucker Kraft is a beast. Josh Jacobs is an absolute beast. The receiving core seems to be getting open more. The line is blocking better. Jordan Love hasn't thrown an interception in 3 games now. Well, the Bear game 1 was just slightly overthrown. It was a really good play by the Bear cornerback. That's fine. He's really, really come back down to where he was last year, come back down to earth or whatever. He's really made his found his groove. That's what I'm trying to say.
He's in the groove. Absolutely.
He's in the groove. He is in the groove, and we're peaking at the right time. Now, there's 2 things that we don't have this year that we had last year, and those are the 2 things that will get us through. Those are the 2 things that will turn a loss into a victory. Number 1 is Andres Carlson. We don't have to worry about Andres Carlson missing an extra point, missing a 41-yard field goal that might actually keep us out of the NFC Championship game. He makes that field goal last year. It puts a whole new spin on that game. The dynamic changes. Now San Francisco can't just run down and eat up most of the clock and leave us with like 1:14. And then they score the touchdown and go up 21-17. They would have tied us at 21-21 is what they would have done. Or 24-24. That's it was they went up 24-21. They would have tied us at 24. We would have had the last chance to either win it with a field goal or go into overtime. I really believe we would have won that game had Andres Carlson made the field goal. So, okay, enough said about that. The other thing we don't have, I'm going to let you tell me what we don't have that we had last year.
What we don't have
Yeah.
that we had last year?
Yeah. It's a negative that we had last year.
I mean,
Joe,
well, I mean,
Joe Barry.
Joe Barry, defensive
Joe
coordinator.
Barry at defensive coordinator. If you look at what the Packers have done over the last, pretty much throughout the season with with Xavier McKinney, 8 interceptions now, tied for the league lead. If you look at what they've done as a unit, the way they rush to the ball, the way they tackle, our differential for turnovers is higher than it was last year. I don't know what it is, but it's way higher than it was last year. Although we've given up 11 interceptions and a couple of fumbles, so that kind of skews the number just a little bit. But I'm looking at that defense thinking we can shut down just about anybody. Detroit will be a test. We played well against Detroit last time. We only gave up 17 points.
Exactly.
They
Good
scored 24, but one of them was on that really bad flip that Jordan Love did.
The
I
bad
believe
pick
Jordan
six.
Love was trying to throw it out of bounds. He just didn't have the strength in his arm because of his groin. If you've ever had a groin injury, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can't even lift anything. You can't throw anything. He basically had no business being out there on the field.
Yeah.
So I really, truly believe that Green Bay's defense will hold Detroit. And then all you have to do is score probably 23, 24 points, and you're going to win that game. That's what I believe.
Probably
All right.
my biggest concern is the penalties, is that this team has been putting out there. It's too many young player penalties,
Yeah.
holding, lining up offsides, goofy, stupid stuff that they got to clean
Yeah.
up.
Lining up off sides. I can't understand that. Look at the line. You can see where the ball is. You've been playing football for 20 years. And if you're 25 years old, you have been playing football for probably 18 years. I started playing football when I was 7.
Mhm.
All right. And I played all the way up through high school and even into a slight little bit of college a few years after that. I didn't amount to much because I had some injuries and I just quit. So that was fine. But I played football and watched football all my life. I know how not to line up offsides. In fact, I was a defensive tackle is what I was.
Every little inch, every little centimeter, trying to get a rush on the quarterback, and you gotta line
You're
up in the
trying to
right
get that
spot.
extra 3 inches, but it's going to cost you 5 yards. So
I think maybe looking at the NFC North standings, maybe the wild card right now is the Vikings. What are they going to be here at the end of the season? I know we've talked about this before, where we think they're going to start faltering and they're probably going to lose most of their last remaining games.
smoke and mirrors is what comes to
Yeah.
mind for me. Smoke and mirrors. They defenses are starting to figure out how to. You look at Justin Jefferson.
Mhm.
He is not. He's been an almost no show for the last month.
No, I
Jordan
mean, kudos
Addison.
to Sam Darnold. Darnold's been doing a yeoman's job as their quarterback, but their defense gets figured out. Their offense is getting figured out. They should not make it to the playoffs.
That's the key right there. Their defense gets figured out. Brian Flores is a very good defensive coordinator, except he's very vanilla when it comes to. No, I shouldn't say that. He's got a lot of different schemes, but the schemes are easy to figure out. And a smart coach like Matt LaFleur can figure it out. And this is exactly why the Vikings couldn't put any more points on the board, but gave up 29 points to the Packers. Look, they get off to that 28-0 start, and then the Packers shook their head like Scooby-Doo and said, okay. I don't know what just happened, but let's figure this thing out. They come back and outscore them 29-3. If you would have told me beginning of the game that they were going to outscore the Vikings 29-3 from a minute and a half left in the half to the end of the game, I would have said, "Oh my God, this game's going to be 42-10." I would have instead of losing 31-29. That's just to
whole
me.
First half is just
That's the
nasty.
craziest thing I've ever seen. That's not going to happen again. Minnesota is not that good. They were not expected to be that good coming into the game. They're not that good right now. They are doing it with smoke and mirrors. That's my take on it. So Green Bay is probably going to be the wild card, the first wild card, which would be the 5 seed. I hate to say it. I'm not confident enough that Detroit's going to drop 3 more games. I think they will. I hope they will. But if they do, one of those games has to be to Green Bay, and Green Bay has to beat them by 11 points or more because
Mm,
Detroit beat them by 10. That's one of the tiebreakers. Is how many points did you beat your your direct competition by?
right.
The other one is NFC record. Packers NFC record. All 3 of their losses right now are to NFC teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
They lost to Philly, they lost to Detroit, and they lost to Minnesota. So they have 3 NFC losses. All 3 of them are. So they can't lose any more NFC games, and they've got 4 NFC five. All five are NFC games. They have to run the table in order to win the division outright, meaning Detroit has to lose 3 more. So it's a tough task. I'm going to say right now, I think Detroit probably will win the division, and then Green Bay will be the 5 seed, which doesn't guarantee them a home playoff game unless one of the top 4 gets beat.
It's going to come down to the wire. Nobody wants to win the NFC South. That's kind of fun. No,
Yeah,
nobody wants to win the NFC West. That's also kind of fun. So
yeah,
the North owns the NFC.
yeah. Oh,
Pretty
without
much.
question, without question. And as far as Minnesota, I actually think Minnesota probably will be maybe a 7th wild card because right now Minnesota has 2 losses.
9-2.
They also out of the last 5 have to lose 3 of those 5 games in order for them to be 12-5, and 12-5 still probably gets them a wild card. I think your 2 of your 3 wild cards come out of the North, and I think the other one could be Atlanta, could be Seattle. Well, Seattle's probably going to win that division. If San Francisco puts on a push, it could be them. Who knows?
It's going to be interesting to see if the Commanders get back on their feet because they had a
That's right.
good first half of the season and now they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah,
So what's going on
yeah,
there?
that's right. I forgot about the Commanders. They are in control of that 7th wild card spot. Because Philly's going to have the division. I really believe because Philly's 10 and
They're
2
still
now, 10 and
they're 9 and
9 and 2,
2,
9 and 2.
7-game winning streak for the Eagles versus a
Mhm.
7-game losing streak for the Giants.
Yeah,
And something I never thought I would see, but there they are, the Detroit Lions with a 10-game winning streak.
yeah,
Whew,
I know.
whew,
Well,
they're good.
that's not sustainable. Not in the NFL. It's just not sustainable. So I really do believe they're going to slip up at least 2 more times. At least 2 more times, which puts them at 14-3. Green Bay can go 14-3, but they have to beat Detroit
Gotta beat
by
Detroit.
more than 11, by 11 points.
Hmm.
They have to because they lost by 10. And I think that can be done. They did it last year on Thanksgiving. I forgot what the score was. No, I
They
think it
get the
was.
confidence after these last 2 games beating 2 good teams. They should have the confidence to go into Detroit and do some
Well,
damage.
there's no question Green Bay is the better team. Well, not the better team. Let me rephrase that. They're not the better team. Detroit's pretty doggone good, but they're as good as Detroit in a slightly different way. They're as good as Detroit. I think they're better coached, but I think Detroit may have more studs. They may have more stars, but I think better coaching. I will take better coaching and mediocre players than great players and mediocre coaching any day.
Just
Any
ask the
day.
Bears.
Yeah, exactly.
Just ask the Bears. Awesome. All right.
So one more quick point. The whole
One
Joe
more
Barry
point.
thing. If you remember last year, the reason we lost the Giants game was because Joe Barry just let every zone defense. Let's just let him go down the field. Prevent defense doesn't work. It only prevents you from winning. The same thing happened in the Tampa Bay game. It's Joe Barry's defense. We don't have Joe Barry's defense anymore. We have a rush to the ball, sack the quarterback, third down, disguise your looks. And that's what Joe Barry couldn't do. And that's what Jeff Halfley does. One quick thing. I said this a couple of weeks ago. a single high safety, meaning Xavier McKinney is all by himself out there in center field. You have the ability then to put 7 in the box. Now you can disguise your. Are you rushing 7? Are you pulling back and you're going to cover that zone?
Yeah. Yeah.
With Xavier McKinney, he has the ability to get to the ball because he's so doggone good
With
and
that much
fast.
speed. Yeah, there's
That
a lot
is
of
what
speed.
confuses offenses. That's what will confuse my Minnesota. It's what confused Miami. It's what confused the San Francisco.
Yeah.
That is Jeff Halfley's defense at its finest, and they are starting to play. Rashawn Gary is starting to play. Kenny Clark is coming back.
Even Quay Walker had a great game.
Quay Walker had a great game. Evan Williams had a good game. Xavier McKinney had a great game. He had that pass defended. He came from nowhere and knocks the ball out on a fourth down play. This defense is unbelievably good, and that offense is almost as good, if not better. This team and special teams is doing a great job too. So that's my take on it. I think Green Bay can win the division. I just don't know if their NFC record is going to allow them to get over that hump, and they have to win certain games, starting with Detroit. They lose the Detroit game, Detroit basically wins the division. 4 games left, Detroit would have the tiebreaker and a 2-game lead.
Yeah.
So, no, a 3-game lead. A 3-game lead. So they would all but secure the division if Green Bay doesn't beat Detroit this week.
Well, it's going to be an exciting end of the season. The schedules line things up in such a way that there's a lot of division games at the end of the season this year, which is really, really exciting. And now the Bears have a new head coach, so that's going to add a whole nother storyline to the NFC North's end of season story here. So awesome. Well, looking forward to it big time. Next week, we do have another guest. Barbara Aby is the executive director of the UW Swedish American Health Foundation. We're going to learn all about that. I really don't know hardly anything at all about it at all. So I'm looking forward to having Barbara on to tell us about what the UW Swedish American Health Foundation is all about. And if you haven't done so yet, please take a quick look at our incrowd815.com website and the merch. If you haven't bought 815 gear in a while, how about some InCrowd 815 gear? Go to incrowd815.com.
I'm gonna get an InCrowd 815 hoodie.
It's time. It's hoodie time. It is hoodie weather time, and there's a few different ones to choose from. If you want the VIT fleece or the district refleece.
Oh, I like the fleece. Definitely like
basic
the fleece.
hoodie. Yeah. There's some quarter zip ups as well. Time for the warm gear. And I think we're going to add stocking caps here eventually too. So looking forward to getting those on the InCrowd 815.
And I like the color scheme too. The dark, the light blue, and then the white. I really like that color scheme. I think that's good.
Yeah. All right, friends. Well, hey, remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. Absolutely. You know what? What are you going to do this weekend?
What am I going to do this weekend?
The Packers aren't playing. It's going to be weird because I always watch 2 games every Sunday. I watch the Bear game and the Packer game.
Who do the Vikings play?
I don't know. The Vikings play Arizona.
So I guess we become Arizona fans.
Yeah.
Go Cardinals.
Go Cardinals.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later. Have a great rest of your weekend.
No, you too, buddy.
Stroll on States today. If you get a chance, get up to Stroll on State. I think the parade steps off at like 2 or 2:30, and the fireworks after dark, and they'll light up the tree around 6 o'clock. So going to be a fun time downtown. Until next week. Bye.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815.